This episode is brought to you by CoolStuffInc.com, the #1 seller of games and gaming accessories. And GatheringMagic.com, the #1 resource for Magic the Gathering news and articles.
Hey, what's up guys? Big Nass here. Got another Return to Ravnica draft coming at you. And as always, first thing we do is look at the rare. And this time it's a Blood Crypt, which is worth money, so we're going to be taking it. The best card in this pack is probably the Stab Wound, but we're a 100% rare drafting here, so probably not the most instructive pick. But if this is like a PTQ top 8, I'd take the Stab Wound here for sure. Just a few comments on the other cards in the pack. Like, this pack is fairly Rakdos heavy. Like most of the best cards in this pack are black and or red. Like there's a Splatter Thug, there's a Stab Wound, and the Thrill Kill Assassin. Rakdos Rage Mutt, that's not a card that I've played with myself, but it seems fine. Stealer's Secrets is the best like non-Rakdos card, but we'll just take the Blood Crypt here and be happy about it. Alrighty, so probably sends a bad signal to pass all those Rakdos cards and then take a red card, but that's probably what we're going to be doing here. In my opinion, the two best cards in this pack are Explosive Impact and Dramatic Rescue, and I think the Impact is quite a bit better. It has much larger impact on the game, pun very much intended. So I think that's where we're going with here. If I sound a little less excited than usual, it's because I'm very tired and just got through a very long week at school, and just happy to be drafting at this point. Yeah, I just wrote my last midterm today, so. Alright, Underworld Connections seems like the pick here. So we're setting up nicely for a Rakdos deck. Just being able to, draw 2 cards a turn is pretty powerful, especially if you can turn it off. So let's take the Underworld Connections, and hopefully we can stay in Rakdos. And this Annihilating Fire certainly helps with that. It's definitely better than Launch Party. Launch Party does kill anything, but it comes with a hefty cost. Excuse me, it comes at a hefty cost. So other good cards in this pack are Centaur's Herald. Paralyzing Grasp is fine. Sluiceway Scorpion is pretty good. World Spine Worm is just too expensive. Ooh, I got a bit of the hiccups going here. So we're just going to take the Annihilating Fire here and move on. Well, there aren't any good Rakdos cards in this pack. I'm pretty sure we're going to end up being Rakdos. Like, all the cards we've taken so far are Rakdos cards, so I'm very much willing to just commit to it. I could take like an Electromancer if I wanted to go into like Grixis type of colors, but I'm definitely not going to take Sunspire Griffin just because like white just doesn't have a connecting guild with either one of these two colors. I think just to stay on color, I'm going to take this Perilous Shadow, although Perilous Shadow is really not that exciting, and most of my Rakdos decks they tend to be heavy on the red side, so Perilous Shadow isn't really that great, but it's probably better than the rest of these options. Alrighty, I guess we can take a second Explosive Impact. I could also take the Spawn of Rixmati, but 5 damage that can go to the face is pretty powerful. I'm gonna need to start picking up creatures at some point, but I do like these. Probably don't need too many more of them though. Alrighty. Skullrend is not a card I like to play usually. Sometimes it makes a cut, but I think we have a choice here between Sewer Shambler and Viashino Racketeer. To be honest, I'm not actually sure which one's better. Like the Racketeer, like being able to rummage is actually really good, but the Sewer Shambler, like because it has such a cheap scavenge cost, is always main deckable, and a lot of times it just randomly wins the game. So I'll be honest, I'm not totally sure which one's the pick here. I think I'm gonna go with the Sewer Shambler just because like I've usually been pretty impressed with this guy. He's actually a lot better than he seems. And I feel like the Racketeers are cards you can get pretty late. Like, I mean, I've drafted like triple Racketeer like very easily without even trying. Um, so this pack, I mean, I could take a Catacomb Slug, but it's pretty bad in Rakdos. Um, I think I'm going to take the Stealer Secrets on the off chance that I go into Izzet. Um, I don't think I'll end up playing it though. Those are second Stealer Secrets, but I'm definitely going to take the Rakdos Shred Freak here. I just want to like stay Rakdos. And like I was saying before, it's pretty easy to pick up Racketeer, so we can just slam that guy down here. And we've already got two of them. I don't think I need to pick up a Chemist's Trick. So we'll just take up the second Racketeer. And I guess we can take a Vandal Blast for the sideboard, although it's pretty rare where you want to side that card in. Yeah, I guess I can take the Dino Charge. Mizium Skin is actually pretty good. It shouldn't be going this late. Like, it's... The blue 1-mana counters, like Mizium Skin and Dispel, are actually quite good in this format, so... Downsize is another card that's actually decent. I mean, it doesn't always make the deck, but in a lot of decks it serves a nice purpose. So it's not. I mean, this isn't a great start. Like, we have an arguable bomb and some removal spells, but not a lot of great action here. The fact that Shred Free came all the way around, I mean, this card's not like amazing or anything, but it probably means that Rakdos is reasonably open. So packs 2 and 3 should go. I hope they go fairly well. Okay, well, that was a nice open, and of course I'm talking about Chromatic Lantern. Yeah, right. Chromatic Lantern's good, just it's not exactly what we need. But Rixmatic Guildmage, in my opinion, this is the best Guildmage in the set, and it's just so good in this deck. Like, it just creates like damned if they do, damned if they don't situations. So definitely gonna slam that down. Hopefully we get to table either a Grim Roustabout or a Traitorous Instinct. Both of those cards are pretty good in this deck. Okay. Ooh, Hesperia is a nice one, but we're pretty far away from being able to cast it. Seems like the best card far and away is this Street Spasm. Um, it's usually just like a Heat Ray, but sometimes you can Wrath them, so it's got some nice upside, and it's a card that's really good when you're flooded, and I usually like to have a couple of those cards in my deck. So as far as what we can wheel, Ogre Jailbreaker, probably, it's not very good in this kind of deck. I like it a lot in Golgari, but in Rakdos, it's, you rarely end up with enough Guildgates to make it good. So other than that, probably just going to want to table that Guildgate. But I guess we're just taking the Street Spasm here, moving on. Alrighty. Well, I'm not sure if we're going to be a Civic Saber deck or not, so I'm not going to take one this early. I'm probably just going to take this Launch Party. I already have like 4 removal spells, but Launch Party is pretty good, and it's definitely better than Sewer Shambler, I think. Like cards like Sewer Shambler are fairly easy to pick up, so I don't anticipate having a shortage of like 3 drops. Whereas like Launch Party is it's just it fits what this deck is trying to do fairly well. Geez, another Annihilating Fire. Well, I definitely can't pass that up. I like Xanarkov Locust a lot, mostly because of the cheap scavenge cost. Tavern Swindler is also fine. Like, this deck does want Grizzly Bears. And Deviant Glee is also not bad. So, hopefully we get to table something out of this pack. Probably just be a Deviant Glee, but you never know. Might be able to pick up a Tavern Swindler. Alrighty. Okay, well, Tenement Crasher it's a good finisher, but it's kind of expensive, and I'd rather just have a bunch of 2-drops. So I'm pretty sure I'm going to take the Grim Roustabout here. It's not the most exciting card in the world, but you know, it gets the job done, and it's just a 2-drop that is fairly hard for your opponent to block in the early game. So yeah, I think that's what we're going to be picking up here. Havoc Festival is playable. I mean, it's not a card that like I'm overly excited with, but I'm probably just gonna take the second Roustabout here. So seems like it'd be better fit for my deck. It's kind of funny that I opened an on-color dual land. Definitely didn't plan it that way. I had no intentions of forcing Rakdos after opening the Blood Crypt. It just kind of worked out that way. Um, Not a terribly exciting pack. I guess we can just take a Mind Rot. Makes the cut sometimes. This pack is pretty bad. I might want to splash for this Bluster Squall. It's not terribly likely I will, but if I pick up like a couple Izzet Guildgates, I might do it. So we'll put it in the we'll draft it for now. We'll put it in the maybe pile. Trader's Instinct is a pretty good finisher for this deck. And I believe this is the pack that we opened. Well, the only card we're interested in here is Street Sweeper, and even then I might not play it. But it's the card we're most likely to want to play. I'll hide this Bluster Squall for now. Like, I can remember what blue cards I have. I have the Bluster Squall and the Steelair Secrets that I could potentially splash, but I'd rather just stay like straight 2 colors. Alrighty, I guess I can pick up a Cobble Brute here. It's a pretty good finisher. And we have enough removal that we should be able to get this guy in a lot of the time. Okay, there's the Deviant Glee. I came back. And I have no intentions of playing Rakdos Ringleader. It just, the body's way too small for its cost. Like, it's got some powerful abilities, but it just doesn't do enough. I guess we can just take a Rune Wing away from someone. So we have 2 Rune Wings we could potentially splash, but I don't see myself doing that. Like, we pretty much have enough playables. Like, we have, like, Blood Crypt aside, we have, like, 20 playables for our deck, and there's another pack to go, so I don't anticipate running out of playables. Armada Worm, I'm pretty sure is a card that is worth enough that I should be taking it. I'm just going to make a quick price check. Oh yeah, Armada Worm is definitely worth enough that I kind of have to take it. It's it's worth like 2/3 of a draft, so yeah, I really should take it. But the card I would most want to take out of this pack is probably Explosive Impact. Although 3 of them seems a little excessive. I might just take the Golgari Longlegs. The card's fine. Yeah, let's just take the Armada Worm and immediately hide it. Okay, well there is an Izzet Guildgate if I decide I want to do some splashing, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'm pretty sure I need this Gorehouse Chainwalker instead. I'll take that guy. Assassin Strike. Well, no shortage of 6-mana removal spells. Yeah, I'm going to take the Assassin Strike over the Tenement Crasher. There's a decent chance the Crasher will come back. Okay, Splatter Thug. That's exactly the kind of card that I like in this deck. It's good both when you unleash it and when it's not unleashed. So it's good on both. When things start to go wrong, Splatter Thug holding down the fort is what you need. All right, so the Rakdos cards keep on coming. Almost certainly taking Rakdos Cackler in this pack. I have enough expensive cards. Like Spawn of Ixmati is decent and all, but Havoc Festival, I mean, it's fine. But Rakdos Cackler, like you play this guy turn 1, you should be winning most of those games. Most, not all. Alrighty, I guess we'll take a second Shred Freak. Again, it's not a card I'm super excited to play, but you kind of need it in this kind of deck. You really want to make sure you have a bunch of power in play early. Okay, so I'm liking how this deck looks so far. I guess we can pick up a second Chainwalker. And do I want a third Roustabout or a second Trader's Instinct? It's a good question. It's actually a really good question. You know what? I don't think I want 3 Roustabouts. Like Trader's Instinct, it's good enough that like I'm probably willing to play two of them. Um, I mean, obviously it'd be better if I had like sack outlets, but as far as I know, there aren't really any great sack outlets in this format. So it's just a card where you just remove their blocker and you just get in there. Don't think I want a third Racketeer. Yeah, we can go with Golgari Longlegs. It's probably better than Street Sweeper. I think we can cut the Perilous Shadow and the Street Sweeper. And we'll have to make some other cuts too. Mind Rot can go. Definitely want to play 17 lands, so gotta make two more cuts. I'm thinking like Deviant Glee and maybe one of the Racketeers, or maybe one of the Traitors Instincts. Like, definitely not cutting Calcular, definitely not cutting the Chainwalkers. Uh, I'm not playing any of these cards, so I guess I'll take the Guild Gates. Nah, I'll take the Jailbreaker. I don't really want to play against it. Well, there's the Tenement Crasher. I might play that one, actually. Yeah, I might cut the long legs and just go, like, heavy red. I mean, that's usually what happens in this deck. Like, we'll see. Yeah, there's some decks I might want to side in Skullrend against, so I guess we'll take it. And, don't think we want Dynacharge. I guess I'll take a Crosstown Courier away from someone. Definitely hate a Mizium skin. Alright, well, I think we're going to have some difficult cuts to make, so I'm going to take a couple minutes to figure this out, and come back to you in just a sec. Alright, welcome back. So this is what we're going to be submitting. We did have to make quite a few cuts from what you guys last saw. I ended up cutting the Tenement Crasher just because it's a little on the expensive side, and I like late game I kind of want to be spending all my mana account on my spells. I went down to one Trader's Instincts. I couldn't find room for the Deviant Glee. Like, this is a card I typically like in this deck, but I just couldn't really find room for it. If I had the 2-mana 1/4, it's really good to put the enchantments on it, both the Deviant Glee and the Perilous Flight, I think it's called. Again, cutting the Perilous Shadow because I'm heavier red than black, and we got some relevant sideboard cards. Like against like kind of like a slower deck, I would bring in the Mind Rot and the Skullrend. If they have like a really sweet artifact, don't know what that might be, but we also we have the Vandal Blast, so we have outs to it, and we ended up cutting a lot of like decent blue cards away from someone, and we managed to draft some rares, so that's always good. I like the look of this deck, so I'll be submitting this, and we'll see you guys in round one. Peace.